Hi students, welcome back. Now we will continue with physics, laws of motion, and in that we see a very important concept. A little bit about this I had already talked about in the chapter of measurements about acceleration due to gravity. Now we will see that in details, and in this chapter you will also have some basic problems related numericals with acceleration due to gravity. Now we all know that gravity exists, and we all know that if we throw a ball up, it goes up to a certain height and then it has to come down. The more force we use to throw the ball, the greater the height it will go up, but finally it will come down. So that we are very clear. Why does it come down? It comes down because of gravity. We have already learned that the earth exerts a force of attraction on any object near its surface. Not just standing on its surface, but anything near its surface. For example, a plane or any object like a meteor comes, it's not on the earth, but it falls on the earth if it is under the earth's gravity. So same way, any object, a stone, a coin, anything that is tossed up will come down. That is because of gravity. Now, the definition of acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by small g, is given here. First of all, please note this is acceleration. Acceleration due to gravity means change in velocity upon time. It is not force of gravity. Force of gravity is something else. That is the force which the earth exerts on any object on its surface. So that we had seen, force of gravity is different and that is measured in Newton. So that's a different thing. Acceleration due to gravity is measured in meter per second squared, meter upon second squared, whereas force of gravity is measured in Newton. So now the definition of acceleration due to gravity is simple and straightforward. The rate at which the velocity of a freely falling body increases. Why increases? Because it is given there freely falling body, so it has to increase. So the rate at which the velocity of a freely falling body increases is called the acceleration due to gravity. Rate means difference or change in velocity upon time. Rate means upon time. So increases means final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. So the rate at which the velocity of a freely falling body increases is called the acceleration due to gravity. It is the acceleration produced in a freely falling body due to the gravitational force of attraction of the earth. So on the earth the gravity is something. On some other satellite or planet the gravity will be something else. For example, on the moon, the value of gravity will be 1.6 meter per second squared. It is almost 1/6 of the earth. That is why when you see those movies, when people are on the moon, you can see the videos that they are floating. They are not standing on the ground. They are unable to stand on the ground because the gravity is only 1/6 the gravity on the earth. So now on the earth also, the value of g is not the same at all points. This we will come to a little bit later, but the average value, when we do the sums or for all practical purposes, the average value anywhere on the earth is taken as 9.8 meter per second squared. If you remember in chapter 1 I had told you that if you go up a mountainous place, that means if you go up on a hill station, the value of acceleration due to gravity will decrease because it is further away from the core of the earth. Same way, if you go towards the equator, the value of acceleration due to gravity, when you come towards the equator, the value of acceleration due to gravity will decrease because at the equator the earth bulges out a little. When you go on the poles, that time the acceleration of gravity will be slightly more than that of the equator. We will write that down a bit later, but overall, the average value of acceleration due to gravity anywhere on the surface of the earth is taken to be 9.8 meter per second squared. Now that is in SI or MKS system. In CGS system, obviously meter we will convert to centimeter, second remains the same, so second squared will remain the same. So meter to centimeter will become 980 centimeter per second squared. So now what does this 9.8 meter per second squared mean? Please understand, don't just mug up. Don't just write the values and then do some sums and then say portion ho gaya, yeah, I have learned it. Understand the meaning of what it's very simple. What is the meaning of 9.8 meter per second squared? That is G is 9.8 meter per second squared. Let's say you are standing on the top of a tower, a very big tower, and from there you are releasing a small stone. You are not throwing it down, you are just dropping it down. There is a difference between throw and drop. The difference is when you throw, you are using force. So when force is used, the initial velocity will not be zero. Because of the force, it will have some initial velocity. Whereas when you just release a stone, when you just leave your hand, open your hand, the stone comes down, that is known as drop. That is known as what is meant by dropping a stone. So when you just release the stone comes down, that is known as dropping a stone. So in that case, the initial velocity is 0. Now, since g is plus 9.8, why plus? Because when an object is falling down, what is happening to the value of velocity? It goes on increasing. So after 1 second, the velocity becomes 9.8. Why? Because the value of g is plus 9.8, so this is the formula of acceleration due to gravity. Same formula as acceleration, v minus u upon t. Only the thing, we denote acceleration due to gravity as g instead of small a. So if you substitute time as 1 second, initial velocity is 0 because the object is dropped from a height. Then after 1 second you get the velocity as 9.8 meter per second. So now in this, if you consider 2 seconds, it will be 19.6. So that's what I have written, that every second from the moment it is dropped, the value of the velocity of the body, will increase by 9.8. So after 0 seconds, the moment you release it is called 0 seconds. The exact moment when you release it is 0 seconds, that time the velocity is 0. At 0 seconds, velocity is 0. At 1 second, the velocity will be 9.8 meter per second. At 2 seconds, the velocity will become 19.6, that is 2 times 9.8. At 3 seconds, the velocity will become 29.4, that is 3 times 9.8. And so on. At 4 seconds, it becomes 39.2. So every second, the velocity of the object is increasing by 9.8 meter per second. That is why we tell you that do not throw holi on, when you play holi, do not throw the holi balloon from a height. You're playing with your friends in the ground or in the garden, that is okay. You're just throwing it this way, it comes with a certain force. But let's say you're standing on the top of a 20th floor building and then throwing it down. Just like that, you are having fun. But the balloon may be very small. But that balloon comes down with so much of velocity that by the time it covers 20 floor building means almost 65 meters height. So when it comes down with such a high velocity that if it hits the person really gets hurt. The reason for that is the velocity goes on increasing at 9.8 meter per second squared. So this is something which is very practical. So if you're standing down and someone throws it on you from a height, from a very tall building, it really hurts. Why? Because you had learned with increase in velocity, what increases? The momentum increases. Momentum is mass into velocity. And high momentum means that person can even lose consciousness when it strikes him at such a high velocity. So you should never throw anything down on someone from a height, even a holy balloon. So this is what we are learning about acceleration due to gravity. Now we will see more on this. So same way, we will have the same reverse thing happening. Let's say you are throwing an object up with a velocity of 49 meter per second. After 1 second, the velocity will decrease by 9.8. After 2 seconds, it will decrease by 19.6. After 3 seconds, it will decrease by 3 times 9.8, that is 29.4. And after 5 seconds, when the ball reaches the maximum height, it will be 0. It will go up as much as the velocity with which it was thrown up. If it was thrown up with an even greater velocity, initial velocity, it will go higher. That means initially while throwing you use the greater force. So it goes higher. So in that case, when the ball is going up against gravity, that time you take G as minus. When it is coming down, since the velocity goes on increasing, we take G as plus 9.8. When a ball is thrown up, initial velocity is not 0. Initially the ball has velocity, so it is going up. After 1 second it decreases by 9.8. After 2 seconds it decreases by 19.6. After 3 seconds further 9.8, that is by 29.4, and so on. And it goes up till it has some velocity, till the velocity becomes 0. So in this case, when the ball is thrown up, final velocity is 0 at maximum height and initial velocity is maximum. So when you throw up a ball, the velocity with which you throw it up will be the same velocity with which the ball will come back to your hand. Because while going up, it decreased 9.8 meter per second every second, and when coming down, the speed increased by 9.8 meter per second. So the velocity with which you have thrown it up will be the same velocity with which it reaches back into your hand. So that has to be remembered and noted. We will write that part next. Please copy this in your long books. So now this is the writing of what I had just explained. That is when the ball or an object is thrown up. So we are assuming that the initial velocity, which is maximum, we are assuming that it is 49 meter per second. We are just taking a value. It could be anything. If you throw it lightly, it will not go up much. It will fall down immediately. If you throw it with a lot of force, let's say your friend is staying in the second floor and uska ball niche gir gaya, and if he asks you to throw it back, then you will not throw it like this. You will take it and throw it with a good amount of force, hoping that it reaches the second floor. So the more greater force that you use, the higher the ball will go up. So now here, in this case, let's assume that the initial velocity is quite high, 49 meter per second, and the ball is thrown up. So now after 1 second, the velocity will decrease by 9.8. So it will become 39.2 meter per second. Why? Because acceleration due to gravity is now negative. The value of acceleration, the value of the velocity goes on decreasing. After 1 second, the velocity is less than what it was at the start. When you threw it up at that moment, it was 49 meter per second. After 1 second, it has become 39.2 meter per second. After 2 seconds, it has become 29.4 meter per second, because this reduced by 9.8. So it has become 29.4. After 3 seconds, 29.4 minus 9.8, it becomes 19.6. After 4 seconds, it becomes 19.6 minus 9.8, that is 9.8. And at the end of 5 seconds, 9.8 minus 9.8, that is 0 meter per second. 0 meter per second means it has reached maximum height. At maximum height, what happens? After that, it will change motion. Remember one thing, whenever there is a reverse in direction, whenever there is a total 180-degree turn in direction, the object has to halt temporarily. For a fraction of a second, the object speed becomes 0. And then it starts coming down, and when it comes down, the velocity goes on increasing by 9.8 meter per second. After 1 second, it will become 9.8, like I showed you in the previous frame. It goes on increasing. But when it goes up, the velocity is decreasing by 9.8 meter per second. So when the object starts falling down, since it took 5 seconds for the object to reach the maximum height, it will take exactly the same time to come back to its original position. So if it took 5 seconds to go up, that same ball will take 5 seconds to come down. Do not think that while going up it takes more time. No, because g's value is same. So that is why when it is going up, it has the same acceleration or retardation. In fact, negative acceleration is called retardation. So acceleration due to gravity was negative when it was going up. When the same ball is coming down, the value of velocity goes on increasing with time. So g is plus 9.8. So if it took 5 seconds to reach maximum height, it will take exactly 5 seconds to come back to its original position. So total time traveled by the ball will be 5 plus 5, that is total is 10 seconds. So it takes 10 seconds for this example because we had taken initial velocity as 49. Obviously, if the initial velocity is just 19.6, if it was 19.6, then the ball will come down in 2 seconds. It will reach maximum height in 2 seconds and come down in 2 seconds, and that height will also be far less than if it was thrown with an initial velocity of 49 meter per second. So I hope this concept of g, that is acceleration due to gravity, is very clear, because this will be used in sums, very simple basic sums based on acceleration due to gravity, and when an object is thrown up, g is negative, and when an object falls down, g is positive. That will be used, and the time taken for the object to go up will be same as the time taken for the object to come back to the same level. And if it was thrown with an initial velocity of 49 meter per second, then it will come back to you at the same speed of 49 meter per second. So that is certain things we have to understand in this concept of acceleration due to gravity. Now I hope that once you have learned this and seen this video explanation 2 times, then you need not even read what is there in concise and understand that. More than enough. Then we can do examples based on this. More than enough. Only definition you will have to learn it and write it as given without change in any meaning. So rate of change of velocity of an object, which is rate of increase in velocity of an object which is freely falling under the Earth's gravity, is known as acceleration due to gravity. Now instead of rate of change of velocity, if you write rate of change of something else, some other word other than velocity, obviously the teacher will give you 0. Because in physics you can't change a word. Velocity means something. If you write speed, it means something else. So you can't just put some word there. It has to be correct as per physics. Instead of force, you can't use the word pressure. Force is different. Force is measured in Newton. Its formula is mass into acceleration. Pressure is something else. It is force upon area. Its unit is Pascal. So different things mean different things in physics. Like for example, you cannot say in physics that my weight is 50 kg. That's your mass. In physics, your mass is 50 kg. Your weight is 50 kg F, kilogram force, or 50 into 9.8. That is 490 Newton. You will say your weight is a force. So it will be measured in kgf or in Newton. So be very clear that physics, what you write, you use the correct physics terms. Otherwise, you will say, one word I wrote wrong and the teacher doesn't like me, so she gave 0. Nothing like that. It is because you have to be accurate. So write down what I have just explained, that the initial velocity with which the object was thrown up, we assumed it to be 49 meter per second, will be the final velocity with which the object reaches the point from where it was thrown up. So if I am throwing up at 49 meters per second, the ball will reach my hand at the same place after 10 seconds at the same speed, that is 49 meter per second. So whatever speed I throw it up, the same speed it will come down the ball. So next we are writing what I have already explained about G just before. Value of G is not the same in all places on the earth. Average value is 9.8 meter per second squared. G is slightly more at the poles because the poles are slightly flat. So you know that the earth is not a perfect sphere, but it's a geoid. So the poles are slightly flat. So G's value is slightly more because it is closer to the center at that place. G ka value is 9.83 approximately. Need not remember the value, but it is more than 9.8. Value of G is slightly less than 9.8 at the equator because at the equator the earth bulges out slightly. So G is approximately 9.78 meter per second squared at the equator because the equator bulges out. Hence G will be slightly less at Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka is closer to the equator, and it will be slightly more. It will be slightly more at London. More at London because London is more towards the north. Sri Lanka is at the equator, so Sri Lanka it will be less, and at London it will be more because London is closer to the North Pole. Not exactly at the North Pole, but very close to the North Pole as compared to Sri Lanka. Next thing is G is maximum at the Earth's surface at sea level. So like a place like Mumbai, which is at almost sea level. Of course, some places are higher than sea level. If you compare Mumbai also, it is not a flat ground. Like certain places like Powai and all are raised because it is a hill. Whereas many other places are at sea level. So value of G is maximum on the Earth's surface at sea level, and it increases with increase in altitude or height of the place above sea level. So it decreases with increase in altitude. So let's say you go to a hill station like Mahabaleshwar or Ooty. Ooty is a hill station in Tamil Nadu. So if you go to any of the hill stations, because the hill stations are at a greater height, the value of G will be less as compared to Mumbai, which is at sea level. At sea level it is more, at a hill station it will be less. So now last thing, you may get confused. You may think that when we are going to the Earth's core, when we are going towards the center of the Earth, I have written the value of G goes on decreasing. Badhna chahiye na? No. If you compare poles and equator, yes, but in poles and equator, the entire Earth, the entire mass of the Earth is underneath you and it is attracting you. Whereas when you go inside the Earth, a part of the Earth is above you. So when you go in a mine, only the part which is below you is attracting you. So that is why the value of G goes on decreasing. And if someone reaches the core of the Earth, you can't because it's very hot. If someone reaches the core of the Earth, the exact center of the Earth, the value of G there will be 0. It's like a whirlpool. You get pulled in, but once you reach at the bottom of the whirlpool, there is nothing to pull you. So it's like that. So the value of G at the core of the Earth, if anyone asks you, it is 0. So at the core, you will experience weightlessness. Weightlessness means there is no weight. Why? Because there is nothing attracting you further. Of course, it's another thing that no one has reached the core of the Earth. Why do we feel a weight? Because of G, because of the Earth's force of attraction. So we can stand on the ground. So what is your weight? Weight is mass into gravity. It is mg. I told you, if your mass is 50 kg, then your weight is 50 into 9.8. So it is 490 Newton. That is what we will see after some time. So now for this question, mark it very important, because this has been asked in some exams and school papers. They can ask you to get the relation between small g, that is acceleration due to gravity, and big G, that is gravitational constant. So first we write small g is acceleration due to gravity on any planet or a satellite. On Earth it is 9.8, but in any planet or satellite the value is not 9.8, it is different in different planets. For example, Jupiter, it is much more than the Earth. On the Moon the value of g is less than on the Earth. It is only 1/6 of the Earth. And G, capital G, is a constant value which you had learned. It is the gravitational constant. It is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter squared upon kg squared. So how do we do the derivation? There are just two things. You're using Newton's second law and Newton's law of gravitation. By Newton's second law we say that the force of gravity, capital F, on a body of mass m will be given by force is mass into acceleration. So in this case acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. So force is mg. That is equation number 1. And by Newton's law of gravitation, the force with which the planet or satellite attracts any body on it is directly proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two bodies. In this case, this capital R is the radius of the planet, because you are standing somewhere on the surface of the planet and the core of the earth or the core of that planet you will consider as the center. So the distance between the center of the earth from which the force of attraction is acting and you will be equal to the radius of the earth. If it is earth, if it is some other planet, it will be radius of that planet or satellite. G value is constant, it is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter squared upon kg squared. So now if you equate 1 and 2, here you have in second equation m is mass of the object. If you are standing on the earth, that is a very small mass, it is your mass. Capital M is mass of the planet or satellite, and capital R is radius of that planet or satellite. So now by equating these two, both are same force of gravity. So we can say that the right hand sides are equal, that is mg will be equal to g into small m into capital M upon r squared. In both the equations, small m gets cancelled. So what is left is small g. Acceleration due to gravity is gravitational constant into mass of that planet or satellite upon radius of that planet or satellite. So very important question. They may ask you to just write this. Give an expression showing the relation between acceleration due to gravity small g and gravitational constant capital G. If they ask you that for just 1 mark, then you just write this expression and explain each term. Acceleration due to gravity, gravitational constant, mass of planet, radius of the planet or satellite. So then below that they can ask you, give 2 factors on which the value of acceleration due to gravity on any planet, not just Earth, any planet depends. So you will say that the value of acceleration due to gravity depends on the mass. It is directly proportional to the mass of that planet and it is inversely proportional to the square of the radius of that planet. So 2 factors on which value of acceleration due to gravity depends is directly proportional to mass and inversely proportional to the square of the radius of that planet. So today we will conclude the session here, and in the next session we will see mass and weight correlation and distinction, and then we will do some numerical examples which are remaining based on what we did today, that is acceleration due to gravity and weight is equal to mg. So we will see that in the next video session. Bye. Have a safe week.